And today, IT play a role in almost everything. I'm actually the engineer. I'm also the accounts. I'm also the admin, and I'm also the delivery driver. So for all entrepreneur or any business owner, cost is always an issue because my thinking is to help people. Actually, most of my customers, they know what they want. Honestly, they know what they want, but they don't tell you what they want.
Hi everyone, welcome to Asia Business Owner Podcast, BOSS for short. With the changing economy, especially after pandemic, do you ever wonder why business lifespan is getting shorter? Do you ever wonder what causes it? Are you one of the business owners who are in the midst trying to figure a way out? Or are you intending to start your own business venture believing that everything will work out but somehow you feel something is missing? Or do you want to start a business however, you do not know what to go for? If you have all these questions on the list that I mentioned earlier, or many more that I have not mentioned, then we are here to fill the gap.
Hi, I'm Joe.
Hi, this is Ben. Okay, before we start, do us a favor. Please subscribe us so that we can invite more business owners of various fields to share more of their journey and collaboration opportunities that can come along. In this show, we will explore how technology empowers businesses to thrive. And today we are joined by Mr. Sim, Director of Denron Computer and Networks. Since 2001, Denron has been helping companies in Singapore and beyond with integrated IT solution, cybersecurity, and on-demand network expertise. We dive into their journey to understand more on the challenges SME faces today and the future of IT solution in Singapore. Let's get started. Sim, before begin with your story, would you like to do a short introduction about yourself?
Hi, thank you, Joe and Ben, for having me on the podcast. I'm Sim from Denron Computer and Networks. It's been great to be here with both of you. I started my company in the year 2001. Okay, at that time, IT was much a simpler world, and mainly was fixing printers and making sure that the office PC doesn't hang. All right, it's not complicated. And today, IT play a role in almost everything in the business, that what business does. My goal today is to simplify IT for SME and show that it's not just a cost, all right, but a key part of running and growing a stable business.
What really inspire you, in doing all this?
Okay, actually, it's such a coincidental. Okay, before anything actually happened, my ex-company actually went for restructuring. Okay, my boss was sent back to Japan, and a new boss came in. He came with a new ideas. He doesn't want to do networks. All right, and he felt that there's no demand for networks and server. All right, and he want to concentrate on purely software. Okay, and because of this direction, it shifted. Okay, two of my juniors colleagues, all right, which I have mentored, and people that I have trust and work closely with, they are suddenly asked to leave. Okay, so at that point, I just graduated from my part-time degree. All right, and I think somehow or other, one of my clients must have put my name to one of those hunting company, and this hunting company actually found a new company for me, and I'm on the verge of joining them. So what happened is that these two junior came to me and asked me, he was saying that pull me to one side and asked me, why don't you set up your own company? Okay, one of them was telling me, says that, oh, if you set up your company, I'll just come and join you. All right, and the other one was saying, you just give me one lunch, okay, I'll join you. But it actually took me quite a while to think about it because I just got married. All right, I'm still paying for my degree fee, and at the same time also paying for my loan for my car. So this type of costs actually came up quite heavily to me. So if I'm going to set up my own company, I think it will be very difficult because I will not have that sum of money, the X sum of money that is coming to me every month. So this is how I started my company. So when I started, what I did is eventually I talked with my wife, and I think he also got some reservation. She got some reservation because we have too much debt. And if I came out, then this is not going to be, if I fail, it will be quite detrimental to us. So in the end, we talked and we discussed, and eventually we find a middle path, and we agreed, and she supported me in setting up the company. So this is how.
In fact, it's also like an opportunity that knock on your door, and probably at that point of time, more or less, you are ready to venture into this industry.
In a way, because if you talk about it, I actually got this entrepreneur thingy way back when I was 9 years old. Okay, when I was 9 years old, I was exposed to computers. Oh, that was many, about 40 over years ago. I was exposed to computer. But then my family was quite poor. So there's no way that I can afford a computer. Because I went to one of my relative's house. At that time, he has a Apple computer. So I look at the Apple computer, I was so engrossed with IT technology. So from then onwards, I keep having this idea that I want to go into IT. All right. So how I did is that happened that my elder brother, he went for an IT course. So you have these IT books and those notes. So although they didn't have a computer, I will always read through the notes what is happening. So from there, I have the fundamental of the IT knowledge. So this is how it started off. Then way back when I was in my lower secondary, olden days, in the younger days, that in my lower secondary, what happened is that I gotten my first computer, and I got it at the People's Park complex. Okay, I do not know why I have this idea. I buy a lot of diskette. At that time, we use diskette. I'll advertise on, the straight stamp, under the IT columns. All right, so I'll post it there. Whoever wants software, look for me. I'll deliver to their doorstep. This actually started my entrepreneurship in a way before I actually set up my company.
Wait, that
It's
was
always
like
in you.
yeah, it was like in your early teens. Am I right with that?
13, 14
Okay,
years old.
okay.
Yeah.
Hey, anyway, for the benefit of the audience, just in case young audience doesn't understand what is the diskette is all about, it's a very small square black things, slim enough that you can actually slot into the computer. What do you call that? The slot. Is it?
This drive, huh?
The disk drive, yes, correct. Which I don't think that we have the opportunity to see this vintage or antique item anymore here in the market.
It started with the very quite a big black color floppy type, right?
Yeah,
Then
the
after
five
that
and a
it
half
became
inch.
yeah,
We
then
call
it
it a
become like
five,
smaller kind of thing.
we call it as a 5.5 inch diskette. Then eventually it evolved to the 3.5 inch, which is a smaller one.
Right.
Yeah, so
And then
that's
after that
how.
is CD.
Right. So this is how I started my entrepreneurship in a way lah. It's a small business, but actually quite a good income because it helps me on my where's that allowance for my schools. So after that I went to army. So after army I during army that time my OC was good enough to allow me to take my course. So I took my diploma during that period of time. So after that, I came out, I find a job in this Japanese company. So that's where my journey begins.
So all the while it's all IT related.
Right. Because I'm quite interested in IT from the start. In the olden days where, okay, this is probably the peoples in their 40s, late 40s to 50 will understand and onwards. I was quite good in my DOS. Okay, my DOS basic programming. So at that time, I'm able to, because I read a lot of programming, and I was able to program a simple, like Space Invader games. Right. So I like to program games, but at that time, this type of games because Singapore was not quite exposed to it. So I programmed quite a few games, all right, for my own playing. Because sometimes when I play certain games, I will feel that, hey, this game is, I don't like this game, and I want to change some setting, all right, so that it will fit my requirement more. So I will start to program certain games, but most of the game was a text games. So I started with that as well.
Okay, so your journey is a little bit like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates kind of things, where you actually start at very very young age.
Right. But it's just that for me, because I don't have any financial support, so a lot of things was done within my means. Yeah. So this is the difficult part lah. But it's also a
Okay,
challenge I learned from it lah.
so during this journey of Denron, let's go back to Denron again. Is there any changes, along these years where there's a lot of disruption here and there? Is there any changes in Denron?
Oh yes, because initially Denron started, we are more like okay, we are more like a company that provide OEM PCs. All right, OEM means those PC that you build from scratch. You go to Siemens Square, you get the casing, and buy those parts and sell the build out the whole set and resell the computer. So that is where Denron started, and we started with helping customers with their office PC if they encounter any problems or their printer having issue. So we started with that. But this is also a problem that I face. Because of building PCs at that time, what happened is that a lot of RAMs in the market are not reliable. Okay, the RAMs in the market are usually like distributor. You don't get a grade A or grade B RAMs. You usually get a grade C RAMs. So if you get a grade C RAMs, when you build an OEM system, the OEM system tends to hang or reboot by itself. All right. So it takes me a lot of energy and time to make sure to get this thing solved. All right. So every time we build probably 10 PC, 20 PC out, there will be at least 5 to 6 PC that will come in. So because of that, I need to have a lot of engineers and technicians to cater for all this. So eventually, the involvement came when I realized that building PC is no longer a feasible pathway. So what I did is that I went into the direction where it's my forte, which is when I was in my ex company, which I go into servers and networks, and eventually now to cybersecurity.
Okay, so now given the kind of competitive environment that we are in or having right now, how does Denron going to differentiate from all the rest of the competitors?
Okay, Denron is a bit different for me, on my perspective, is a little bit different from most IT company, because most IT company, they provide like like a 911, or we call it as a 995 type of concept, where if you got problem, then you'll call the emergency service. All right, you got problem, then you call them. But that's only when your computer breaks, then you start to call them. But in Denron, I don't want to be like an ambulance. All right, I want to be like a personal trainer. Why does it be a personal trainer? Because we want to train you first, all right, before it collapses. That means we want to make sure that we maintain your computer, rather than when there's a problem, then you start to then find a solution for a problem. It's like a trainer. Okay, you go to look for a trainer. What do you look for a trainer? Because a trainer will build strength and prevent injury, all right, and keep you in a peak condition with a schedule. All right. This is what the direction I'm looking and the approach I'm having in IT. And for me,
Just very
yeah,
just very curious. It's like, how many similar IT firms are there in the market itself, just
oh,
based on Singapore?
I think there's a few hundred, wow, a lot. And there is a lot that is one-man show. Okay, if you count in those one-man OMO, we call it as OMO type of subcontractor company, well, there will be a lot. And these are a direct competitor to us, because usually those one-man company, they do not have much cost. And for us, it's a bit tricky because we have our own costs as in office, staff, all right? And this goes back to how I started as an OMO as well in my company. So when I started off, okay, I'll drag a little bit back to the first question again. When I started off, I'm actually the engineer. I'm also the accounts. I'm also the admin, and I'm also the delivery driver. So
包个料了。
it's also high. Everything I will do. So it's a bit very tedious because end of the day, you do not know what to do. And usually for me, I'm a very system guy. So what will happen with me is that I will think in such a way that, okay, after this stage, I'll go to stage 2. But eventually, I'm not able to go to stage 2. So that's how frustrating the initial stage is.
So how do you plot the changes like from stage 1 to stage 2 right now?
Okay, what I did is a simple cheat code to a certain extent. I link up with ITE because ITE got this internship program. So this ITE student that I engaged way back, it was 20 over years. I think I have linked up with ITE for over 20 over years. So what I did is that I get them in. They started to do certain simpler job. Okay, I start to train them. And a lot of them was eventually merged into my IT team, and I actually offer them a post in the office eventually. So what they will do is that they will make those simpler job like those basic troubleshooting, the level 1 troubleshooting, then we will give it to them. Then at the same time, I will promote those people from level 1, which is my main staff, to level 2 and level 3. That's how I get it at a lower cost, because at that time, costing is an issue. So for all entrepreneur or any business owner, cost is always an issue. So this is how I work around it.
So how long does that take you to carry on with this stage of engaging ITE student until you're able to engage more professional engineer to work with you?
Okay, I will be saying that, okay, for my case, it's a bit slow because my thinking is to help people. Okay, I rather take a raw engineer and I will train the engineer, then eventually I move them up. So this process take me about 3 to 5 years. Okay, at that time. So by the time I am ready, I lose quite a fair bit of business because a lot of business came in. I remember when I set up, I got this project. All right, they trusted me. All right, they wanted me to handle this project, which cost about, at that time was 300K, was quite a big amount. So what happened is that I'm not able to handle it myself. So I give up that project. So if you look at it, if I have gone in a different direction, I may have taken that project.
It is more like a learning process along the way, I would say. 3 to 5 years are very much on a business cycle to many industry, whoever that just start up their business. But for your case, I think you're more on like a customer first philosophy that you're actually working on.
Right.
Right.
So, yes. So what happened with me is that we always will listen to the customer. Okay, we are a bit different in that sense. That's my philosophy, because generally a lot of customers they actually come with they'll ask us, okay, what do you want? Okay, what are the things that you want? So I will try to focus on things that it suits them. Okay,
But a lot of times it's like customer, they don't know what they want, right? They know what they don't want, but they don't know what they want. Do you face this kind of issue?
Actually, most of my customers, they know what they want. Honestly, they know what they want, but they don't tell you what they want. So that is the part why I say we are on the customer face, because you have to find the what they want. That's the confusion part, because sometimes the customer will come to you, okay, I want this, I want that. But deep inside, cost is a factor. But they will not tell you that, oh, okay, in fact, I only want to have a basic network without a server. All right. But when they talk to you, they'll tell you, say, oh, why don't you put the server? So this is the part where you have to mingle with them, talk with them, and find out eventually what they actually want. So from there, it's not easy because what they say may be, oh, I want to go into cloud, or I want to have a cybersecurity. But having cybersecurity, this will be a whole chunk of things that you have to implement. And they know that it has to be implemented this way. But they won't tell you that they wanted it.
I think if during that times probably you engage me as your sales coach, maybe I have a formula to help you to solve all these problems. No, you see, when I was giving lesson, I always realized that a lot of sales presenter, I would call them, all right, and they like to go right straight into solution, where what you have mentioned is correct, right? Customers do not know what they want, or they know what they want, probably they are unsure, and they are waiting for you to guide them along. But instead of guiding them along, you go straight on what you are selling and what you are providing. Which end of the day, you won't know whether that is a pain point that customers are really having or not.
Right.
So yeah, so during my lesson, I always share this. I say that okay, you must understand that providing an insight is very important before you go into the solution. Then what kind of method is available? Then go into the last point of solution that you can provide. Because during all this process, you realize that you can actually dig a lot of information in between and provide the exact solution that is best suited to your client.
Right. But you must remember, Ben, I started off as an engineer. So I have no knowledge. I have no knowledge of sales. I have no knowledge of accounts and whatever. So I have to dig to go and learn everything from scratch. Even, do you know that the simplest thing like delivering goods to a customer place, this is also a skill. When you drive the van, all right, to a parking lot at the loading unloading bay, there's also a skill because you have to know the security guard there, talk to them, then they'll allow you to have more time. So these are the things I have to learn. No choice. You have to go in, you have to learn from there. So this is over the
You learn it the hard way.
Yeah, we have to learn it. We have to keep on banging. So like accounts, I will be looking at what is that. Then HR, the worst was HR because I have to manage HR. So if given to today, all right, I will advise those new entrepreneurs, if they have enough fund, outsource, all right, like HR and accounting services to those outsource company. Reason is because you got no time to handle all this. All right. And for me, because I handle all this, and when I handle all this, my time is segregated. You know, it's already half ready, then half again, keep on dividing, slicing my time. So apparently every day I don't sleep until 3 a.m. So this cycle goes on for days, weeks, months, years. So it's draining. So as Ben know me, so only recently for the past 3 years, I started to find a way to distress myself, which is to go for running. So this is the part that made me that's the most important thing. As a business owner, I think we need to find a way to distress ourselves because too
I
much.
totally agree.
Because too
But
much.
but at the same time, when you mentioned about like a new business, to outsource services, I totally agree where it in fact help to cut costs. So earlier on when we actually interviewed a lady and she was offering a fractional CFO kind of service, then probably people like us that we actually offer some kind of fractional or sales director kind of job to help company to grow sales and so on. But the important thing is that this year probably we'll see even more company will be coming into the field. And can you share with us like what Denron offer integrate IT solution and on-demand network expertise? How these services help all these new startup?
Okay. I will use this thing that I'll use on this startup that I have handled many years ago. What happened is that this company actually was using, when they start up, they follow this company that I spot was actually a foreign company. So when they came into Singapore, they follow the methods that they use in their head office, which is to use paper forms, all right, to do their service reports and to do all their IT functions. So what I did is that I try to go and convert all this into IT functions. So meaning to get into forms, all right, by IT forms, instead of getting more people coming in, all right, to go and read through the forms, then file the forms, I help them to manage it into a proper electronic filing. All right. So at the same time, I also try to set up a new network for them, the basic network, so that they can work at a lowest cost.
Okay, now with all this setup, I think there's another concern which is quite scary these days, which is cybersecurity. So it's definitely a growing concern. So how do you help SME to protect themselves without breaking their bank?
Okay, usually I will always say this. I will use. Okay, I'm actually a cybersecurity forensic investigator. I'm a certified forensic investigator. I will always say that I will use this analogy of a home security system. Okay, you doesn't need to be expensive. Why? You doesn't need to engage a security guard outside your house, correct? What you need to have is you need to have a good lock, all right, and on the door. And this lock to me is actually like a firewall, okay? And the other thing was you need to have an alarm system. And what does this alarm system do? It is like an antivirus. All right. Then, and the most important thing is that the people must be trained not to open the doors to strangers. Okay, this is called staff training. All right. So if you have fulfilled all these three steps, generally, this is the lowest cost that you need to invest in the IT. All right, in terms of cybersecurity, where you will probably, I will say that you will have about 80% of protection inside your office network.
So there will be still possibility where the network will be hacked and so on, isn't it?
Yes, because for network, I will say that it is quite impossible to be 100% protected if you are going to be based on a so-called a budgeting type of security. But as long as 80% is being protected, I think it's quite good. The most important thing for any cybersecurity breaches or hacking, and to me, the most important point is this, which is staff training. Because most of the time, the attacks come from the staff. Because one of the reasons is, the staff during lunchtime, what do they go? They'll go to those movie sites. All right. If the company doesn't have a proper IT cybersecurity plan in place, they'll go to those IT sites. Then if you go to those IT sites, they will to watch movie, all right, during the lunchtime. When you click on it, actually there is a payload being downloaded into your computer. And this is where the hacking will start to come in. So this is part of it. And the other thing is that when you receive an email, you have to be very vigilant, all right, where the sender, the email address, all right, the from address, sometimes it may look the same. You have to look at it because it may not be the correct sender that is sending to you. So this is the part that you have to take note of. So if you
It's getting very prevalent now, right? Yeah,
right.
I mean,
So
it's everywhere.
Right. So if you look at all this, and if the staff can look at and be prevalent on all this, I feel that the security will be there. And one of the things that I have to add is that it's best try not to use any USB from the customer. That's where the antivirus comes in, because antivirus usually have this function where you don't allow third-party devices to connect to your computer.
Would that be like a common mistake that many companies are
Yes,
having?
because a lot of companies right now that I supported, they do not believe in antivirus. They do not believe in firewall because they say, oh, it's going to be a cost. So they only believe in the antivirus that's inbuilt in Windows. So, but that is the thing. The Windows antivirus, although it's an antivirus, it is not strong enough to capture the real threat. So these are things that you have to take note. And why firewall? Because firewall will be the one, because there, okay, a bit of jargon, because in the internet, we are looking at ports. So if you have a firewall and you block all the ports and only allow one or two ports that you are always using, you are actually as good as closing down 80 to 90% of the attack. So you do not have any DDoS attack or whatever thing on your computers or your networks. So these are things you have to take note of.
Okay.
So is there a ballpark figure that the company needs to invest in all these three things?
It depending on companies, ballpark figure, if it's a small SME, it depends on how small the SME is. Like let's say it's less than 10%, I feel that 2-3K should be able to just get all this thing up. But
So how about newly startup? Like, when they just start up the business, how much or should they invest in all this kind of firewall system, or maybe just one man operation just to be careful or whatever they are looking into?
okay, for one man or a very small setup, I would say that you can do away with your firewall. Okay, because Windows itself do have a firewall, and that firewall is also quite okay. So what you need to invest is your antivirus and training. All right, the staff training. You need to have an IT company that is supporting you. Okay, where they will teach you. So how many IT companies willing to share with you their tricks? Like, hey, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. So in general, you don't have that.
And Denron
Are
is
you
one
an
of the
IT company or are you a training company?
Then,
Are you an IT company or are you a training company?
that's the problem. That's why I'm saying that I'm a bit different, because for me, although I'm a IT company, because I'm an engineer by nature, I won't hold back. I will share whatever I know to anybody, even you don't engage me. So if you talk to me, I'll share with you my ideas, and I'll make it a point for myself. I'll make it a point every year. I'll go for I will make sure I go for 2 courses every year
Wow.
to upgrade myself. So whenever I go for a course, it will blend into the knowledge that I have. So when I talk to the customer, I'll start to share what I know. So this is how, that's why most of Denron customers are by word of mouth. And most of them are with me for 20 over years. 20 over years. So this is why they never change any vendor, because usually we'll share our knowledge.
Okay, so maybe we can consider like holding a seminar to invite Sim to share with us on the cyber security.
All right. I mean, it's okay. If you can invite me, I don't mind that.
Cool,
We
cool,
should have a
cool.
podcast on that.
I think so. I think so. Okay, now the next question I actually always have in mind. You know that nowadays, cloud adoption and digital transformation are the buzzword. But what do they really mean for SME in Singapore here?
Okay. I would say that SME, when you talk about cloud adoption, it actually means freedom. All right. Why? Because when you doesn't need to go to the office to access to their server. All right. You can just go anywhere. All right. You are no longer trapped in the office. You can run your company from a laptop, maybe at a hawker center or using your iPad in a taxi. So and the data stays safe. All right. So this is what I will say is that when you have a cloud adoption, all right, and this is also what it happens with the adoption is that you will also reduce manual work, all right, improve visibility. Like for my own company, what I did is that I converted all the paperwork into digital, all right. Every confirmation or any paper, I will get my girl to scan into the cloud. Then at the same time, because when you scan in, you will be able to be sharing this data across the group of people that is supposed to see. So this is what it's all about, the adoption of the digital transformation.
Is it more like
I'm
a
also
cost saving kind of way?
Yeah, it's cost saving definitely. If you manage it well, then it's definitely going to be cost saving because if you compare it, okay, but this will also depending on how big your company is. The bigger your company is, it may not be a cost saving. Why? Because most of the cloud started with cloud services are cheap at the start, but it started to get expensive when it grows. And this is the part where a lot of my customer from the onset, they started to go into cloud, but once they grow, then they realize that because they discarded their server to go on into cloud, then when their company grows, their data grows, then they realize that the yearly subscription got too high. Then they started to go back to on-prem.
Okay, so that means that when they grow, it becomes tandem cloud.
Yes. So it's not going to be cheap, it's going to be expensive. So this is what customer and company have to take note of.
Oh, this is very interesting.
It's the running cost.
I'm actually more interested to find out, it's like, how is AI impacting your business and your clients?
For me, AI, okay, it's a very interesting thing. I'm an AI student. Way back, I would say close to 30 years ago, I graduated with a degree in computer science, all right, which I major in AI. What I would say is that AI at this moment is so much different from the AI that I know last time. And I would say that AI right now is fantastic. And I think that every company should go into AI. Because AI actually helps a lot. Like example, I give you an example. Like for instance, normal stuff, all right, admin stuff. They may not know how to answer an email. All right, they can adopt AI. All right, this is what I've been encouraging my customers and staff. If you doesn't know, then you go to AI. Get AI to teach you how to answer. So it will be more proper than the standard answers that you wanted because it'll give you a different range and different dimension. Why? Because of the database. So to me, AI always linked with expert system because expert system is somewhat like a database. So how good the expert system is, how good the answer will be. So this is the AI. I think in the long future, it is going to be replacing a lot of things.
It's
But
definitely
just a
a
caveat
future.
here, now, it's like, sorry, there's also a caveat here, now, it's like, do not copy wholesale, right? Whatever the AI generated.
You don't copy wholesale. A lot of people make it. I mean, they are wrong in the sense that I heard a lot from it is that some of them they copy and paste, copy and paste. I think it was in the news that some of the people they copy and paste, but then it doesn't work. So even though you use AI, like what I said, it is an expert system because AI works with expert system. All right, they work hand in hand. So when you use the AI to generate certain thing, this scenario may not suit you. So you will only take it as a pinch of salt to help you as the skeleton how to go about the next steps, not
Okay.
rather than doing a wholesale copying.
Okay. Now we understand that AI definitely is the future, but it's always full of opportunity and also challenges, isn't it? But let's talk about what's next for Denron.
Okay, for me, okay, this is also a very challenging thing because I've been revolving for the 25 years. Okay, every 5 to 10 years, I will change certain setup. And you see from OEM to servers to network to maintenance and whatever. So I will say that moving forward, one of my key thing I'll be looking is cloud to cloud backup. Okay, because nowadays a lot of people goes into cloud, but the backup is actually on-prem. So you still need some sort of backup in your office. So I'm looking forward to implementing something like a cloud to cloud, which means that you doesn't have anything inside the computer inside the office. Why is this so? Because in general, okay, as a business owner, I myself also do understand the cost of rental is getting higher and higher every year. All right. So if you are going to put devices or allocate a devices inside your office, all right, this is going to take up space. So, and this is actually a lot of feedback I get from my customer. They doesn't want to have a server inside the office. Can I move it out? So,
So why say that your new horizon probably will be like a new services, partnership, and innovation?
right. So this is the thing. Then I also wanted to go to offer some of the SME friendly cybersecurity type of services. So like initially what we mentioned, for those startup, they may not have the fund to purchase those items. So I'm looking into getting those lower grade, okay, but good devices that can help those startup instead of those getting those home-based type of you know what I mean devices. A lot of SME what they do right now is that they uses all those home-based devices, and these home-based devices are not as secure as the so-called the corporate commercial devices.
Okay. Now, talking about SME, we are talking about they're definitely going to step into more on a digital journey as well. So what is the first IT investment you think they should prioritize?
Okay, for me, it's very straight off, but I got a lot of rejection. Okay,
Oh,
first of all, I believe in emails. Okay, when you start up with your first IT journey, right, you need to have your presence. So you need to have your own email address, like probably ben@abc or aboss.com.sg. So this is
Rather
the
than
first.
gmail.com.
Yeah. So this is the thing that you need to have, because usually when you talk to people, I believe in not using an email like at gmail.com, at hotmail.com, because this is a present. So and it's not going to be expensive. I think this should be the first one you should identify and have it. The second is to build the structure. Okay, what you want to do. All right, like maybe getting a firewall, getting a router. Are you going to in a shared space or your own office? If your own office, you have to have a router. All right, and what our router you're going to buy? Like what I mentioned, try not get home base, get a commercial grade routers, and then you have some sort of backups. These are the
okay.
first things that you need.
Okay, this question that I always ask almost every guest that come to our show. As our economy and workforce are advancing, do you see the need to change in leadership skill? If there is a need for change, what are they?
Okay, this actually applies in my company. So I will say is that in general, we cannot be so robust. All right. Okay, for me, because I learned through the hard way, which I mentioned, I have to do delivery, I have to do everything. So I believe in one thing, it's called system thinking. All right. And because as I'm an AI student, whenever I do anything, it's all if then else, all those systems type of philosophy and also the pseudo codes. So this is the thing that I'm looking at. So for me, the most important is system thinking. Then you need to have a clear communication. All right, you need to have a communication with your staff, your customers. So at the same time, you also need to have IT knowledge, because nowadays everything you cannot run away from IT. So if you don't have IT knowledge, so when everybody talk to you in IT jargons, all right, you will have a issue. So then one of the other thing is your EQ. I think EQ is very important. All right. I'm not so sure, but I encountered a lot of business owner, small SME, their bosses, their business owner, usually they cannot take, when they are faced with stress, they'll start to get angry, then they'll have frustration, then they'll start to bang on the staff to get things done. So this is something which I myself are guilty of. I'm so sorry to say that I'm guilty of when the initial stage. So that's why the EQ is more important. So what I did eventually was which I found my middle path is to go for running, to just get off all those frustration and move off from there. And another most important thing is adaptability. You need to adapt to the economical change and how the environment change. Because what I did some 25 years ago, it doesn't work now. And the stuff I have 25 years ago and the stuff now is totally different. Now, if you talk to the staff about certain things, they'll give you certain emoji. I don't understand what their emoji is all about. So you have to learn and adapt to them. Even I talk to my son, they have a different type of
Lingo.
yeah, and thinking. So what you need to do is that you have to learn from them. You really have to learn from them. So for me, I'm like a 小顽童 like that. So what I did is that I will always try to bring myself down to go and learn. So a lot of people will be asking me, hey, Sim, why will you need to go to this stage as a business owner? I say no, because if you don't go to that stage, you will never know how they behave. So that's what I do when with my delivery guy. I will actually go down with them. Sometimes I will join them for delivery so that I will not how do I say there's a big part of my business period where I totally forgotten about this basic. And because I spend too much time doing all those HR and admin and sales thingy and engineering, I've forgotten those basics. So to me, we need to remember all these basics. So this is the fundamental of everything.
So how do you describe your leadership style?
My leadership style is more on consultative. All right. So usually I'll ask them what you need. All right. I'll see and I'll segment each of them. Okay. Everybody is different. All right. I cannot run or rule them like in the army. Okay. You are going to do this. You are going to do that. You are going to do this. I can't do that. So usually I'm very open to them. My door is always open. So most of my time is mingling with my staff. And I'm always talking to my staff. And sometimes my staff will come to me with their personal issue as well. So this is where I will get to know them better and able to understand what is their problem so that I can find a solution to help them. So I don't believe in scolding and shouting at the staff, oh, this is the thing. Because the more, okay, there is one incident that I want to share when I was in the army. I was in this unit where we do bombs. All right. So the commander, okay, what happened? I was on MC for 5 days because of high fever. So they sent me for this demolition firing. So the officer behind and the sergeant behind was shouting and scolding and shouting and scolding. Do you know that? Because apparently you are not confident, is it? And you are new to the whole thing. And the shouting and the scolding doesn't make me better, no. It make me more confused and make me more panic. So this is the thing which I felt from my own self, the real experience that you shout and you scold. Do you think you will be confusing them? Why don't you sit down and talk to them and see where is the problem they go wrong? So I believe in that.
So I think that times change. So leadership had to progress accordingly.
Right.
Basically, I think last time when we of the same era, that time we remember that majority aren't very well educated in the first place. So by talking reason, maybe that may not work. Yeah, but these days you realize that a lot of NS men, they are pretty well educated. By shouting at them and punishment here and there, that might create even more resentment.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Now let's talk about in modern day these days like we have a lot of hybrid workspace and a common practice to resolve traffic congestion, right? Lower variable costs and whatever reason when supervision management may not be necessary performed by human. So now, do you think that AI will replace human leadership role one day?
Okay, like what I said, as an AI student myself, AI all comes from the database. Okay, who input the database? Is human being. So I will only say that AI will replace the management task. It's the task, all right, but not the leadership. Okay, because AI can track schedule, analyze costs, and automate your routine work. All right, but they don't have the thinking. All right, the leadership thinking. Because, like for instance, you cannot tell the AI say, okay, now Ben, I want to talk to you. Then we need to go to the coffee shop downstairs or canteen downstairs to have a coffee. AI can't do that. This is the human touch that you need to have that. So without the human touch, I think AI can't do that. And AI always talk about numbers, and humans is always about people. So these are two different things that we have to take note of. And to me, leadership is always has to be human, because I will only can say that AI can only do a supporting role rather than replacing the human leadership.
Interesting, I was reading some news, especially in Japan, when this lady is married to an AI husband.
So if okay, for this, we have to always go to the fundamental, which is who feed the AI with all the data? Who feed the AI with all the information? We
The
humans.
lady.
Correct. The lady will have to feed. So you have to take a lot of time to feed, to let them understand. And they are at this moment, I'm not so sure about in the many years down the road, but at this moment, I don't think it is possible to replace. Probably I have to go back some 30 years ago. All right. A lot of things is 30 years ago. I meet up with a banker. And this banker, before I left my company, this banker actually came to me and he was asking me, hey, Sim, do you think, okay, this is the time where you have to take note of 35 years ago, we do not have smartphone. All right. We only have one thing, which is called the Nokia phone. If you remember the Nokia phone, the digital number, the analog type, or not digital, the analog phone. So what happened is that he was telling me, hey, I am thinking, can we collaborate to set up something? All right. This is not in the market yet. We do develop something on a handphone. Then we do a banking type of transfer, bank transfer thingy. And I told them that, hey, bro, I don't think it's possible. My handphone is Nokia, is analog. How am I going to do that? So I'm wrong in that sense. So I cannot say that totally it will not in the many near future, because for IT and AI, something changes which we may not expect. But as of now, I think that it's not possible. Like for that incident, eventually we came up with smartphone. iPhones started to come in, then we started with the apps, and this actually changed the whole dimension of how we use handphone.
Revolutionized in a way.
Never say never.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. Okay, now anyway, we today we have heard from Sim, from Denron technology, and how they actually being found, and how they transfer into helping SME to tackle cybersecurity and digital transformation. So before we come to the end of the show, Sim, do we have anything to add on?
Basically, to me, is that if you got any IT, do not scared to ask. If you scared to ask, remember you got this website, www.denron.com.sg. Come and look for me. I can give you the advice that you needed. Basically, in any company, if you have any IT, you need to be frank to the IT provider. What is your idea? All right. Do not need to be afraid that because cost is a factor, because a lot of things can be customized.
Okay, cool. Okay, now Sim, do hang on with us right after the show. And okay, with that, if you'd like to learn more about Denron or looking for a collaboration with them, check out their website and contacts, which we will feature at the end of the session. Okay, Sim, thank you very much, all right, for joining us. And to all our listeners, thanks for tuning in, and do subscribe us and share around to benefit more people who are operating their business or going to be in business. Anyway, it's free. Let us stay connected, stay secure, and we will see you next time on A Boss Podcast. Bye.